Hi, in this talk, I like to explain a little about this second edition of my performance management book published by Sage just a couple of months ago. The first book, Performance Appraisal Theory and Practice, was written in 1982, published by AIMA Vikas. 1992, the Academy of HRD published Performance Appraisal for HRD, Human Resource Development. 2003, the first edition of Performance Management was published by Sage, and this is now the second edition of Sage, or the fourth improved version of our work on performance appraisals. In fact, I have avoided using the term appraisal. You can't avoid, you can't do away with it entirely, but I think what is more important is managing performance, for which appraisal is just a small part of it. The most important highlight of this particular book is that this treats performance of an individual as all that he does or she does during the entire year in the context of an organization and in the context of his or her own role. So everything one does during a year, how you spend your time, how you use your talent, what do you do, what results do you achieve, all these things put together is called as performance. So managing performance is first of all planning performance, which means that you will have to estimate how you are going to spend the entire year, 365 days, or at least 2000 to 2400 hours, costing at about 8 hours a day and 300 hours a year. So 2400 work hours, how are you going to spend? You are going to be planning that, and that is what I call as performance planning. And the most important departure of this performance planning from all that we have been doing so far is it puts you as more accountable and take charge of your own performance. So this performance management is managing the performance of one's own self in a given kind of a context. I believe organizations are platforms for us to make things happen. And in the process of make things happen, we also multiply our human capital. We apply our capital and we multiply our capital and we keep growing. So that is what is the human resource development or performance management is all about. The book therefore focuses the attention on the performer, the person. So performance planning is in the interest of the performer. And organizations, of course, have their own mechanisms of controlling performance and getting the best out of us by setting annual targets, breaking it down to departments, and to the extent possible also making every individual accountable for certain parts of these results and so on. Another important part of this book is this performance planning, which is planning of whatever you do all through the year, need to be periodically reviewed, mentored by somebody if you are lucky to have somebody around. If not, I think you'll have to search for constantly mentors. So periodically you also review the performance by identifying what helped you to do whatever you have done and what prevented you from doing better. So this introduces the concept of performance analysis, which of course is not new, which has been talked of in all the three earlier versions of this book. But the important point in this book is that we have built on using the performance analysis data of a group of individuals in an organization for what we call as organization development interventions or OD interventions. So this book focuses on improving organizational level performance and team level performance using performance analysis data. Partly this gets closer to what we nowadays calling as the ergonomics, as well as the data analysis of a number of things that are available in relation to human resources and so on. A third kind of a deviation of this particular book is talking about performance conversations. Performance review discussions are periodically formally organized kind of discussions between performers and their seniors, whereas performance conversations can be initiated by a junior with a senior or a senior with a junior, and it could be as small as about a 5-minute talk, or it could be a mobile chat, or it could be an IT based on WebEx based or Skype based kind of a chat for a short period of time between a person or a performer and his team or his boss or another set of teams and things like that. So this book introduces the concept of performance conversations. Another interesting part of this book is also linking with 360-degree feedback, assessment centers, and also talking about the futility of over-focusing on normal curve or forced distributions and so on. This book practically treats forced distributions as a not so desirable kind of thing, because forced distribution or normal distribution curves make 80% of the people feel that they are average performers, while they may be motivating only about 15 to 20%. This book takes the stand. It is important to convert these 80% into high performing individuals rather than to only keep rewarding the top 15-20% and create something like forced distribution and so on. So like this, there are a whole lot of things that are explained in this book. This is the content you will find maybe 60 to 70% is similar, but this 30% which has been added are really setting new directions in our thinking about performance management. I'm sure after going through this particular book, you will find that each individual has to take charge of his or her own performance and use organizations to get the best out of people. So far we have been saying it is the responsibility of the organization to get the best out of you. Now I am changing the entire kind of a focus to say it is our responsibility to make use of the organization, give our best, deliver results and grow. If we perform well, we are likely to contribute to the company and we are also likely to grow well. That is the entire essence of this particular book. So I hope you will enjoy going through this book. It's available from Amazon.com or Flipkart.com or any of your nearby bookstalls. Or go to the Sage website and you will be able to find this. The book is titled as Performance Management Towards Organizational Excellence, with a very interesting foreword by Dr. Vijay Govindarajan, who talks about the three-box theory and its application to performance management. I like his foreword because he says that just like in the three-box theory, a good performance management system enables people to plan for the future, also selectively forget the past, while you may focus a large part of your work, 60 to 70%, on managing the present. So balancing all the three boxes are very important in the performance management of every individual. So all the best, have a great reading, and if you have any comments, please let me know. tvrao@tvrao.com. All the best.